Iraq, a country known for terrorists and war, and being anti-US. But have you ever wondered how and why Iraq is the way it is? Because it was not always like that. It was quite prosperous at one point. However, following their invasion of Kuwait and the subsequent Persian Gulf War from 1990 to 1991, tensions rose with the US and other Western powers, imposing sanctions and a no-fly zone. Eventually, it all led up to the 2003 US invasion of Iraq, which lasted for about a month. However, failure afterwards to set up a proper government amplified tensions with the Iraqi people. Also, dubious claims over weapons of mass destruction actually being in Iraq are still discussed to this day. But what happened fully? Bush became president in 2001 and since the beginning always had disagreements with Iraq. In March of 2003, he said they had to disarm their weapons of mass destruction in 2 weeks or else they would be forced to take military action. Saddam Hussein, the dictator of Iraq, thought that they were bluffing and were not serious about their threat. They were very serious about it as on March 20th, 2003, the US, United Kingdom, Australia, and Poland decided to invade Iraq and in 1 month decimated it. Following its surrender in April, the CPA took power and made a lot of stupid decisions, leading to a lot of death and hate towards the US, which was nothing good as the people seeing their soldiers dying in war protested against the war all over the country, and even worse, controversy in the UN over whether the invasion was legal or not tarnished the US's public image all over the world. The president himself had a very interesting take on the invasion, and quoting him, "My fellow citizens, at this hour, America, coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and defend this world from grave danger." Yet, for what it seemed like all of his presidency, he fought a bloody war just to keep Iraq under his control for its oil. And even after the death of Saddam Hussein, he continued the fight. He also didn't realize that this invasion created perfect conditions for radical Islam to spark up. Following the election, President Barack Obama came into office. Eventually, he promised to leave, which earned him a lot of support. But out of fear for Iraq just becoming into a civil war and terrorist groups taking over, and US being blamed for it, he was forced to slowly bring them home, which agonizingly caused a lot more death on the way back. Islamophobia, a term you don't hear people use too often. Whenever you think about Islam, you probably think of terrorists, Middle East, violence. But you have to realize these are just people. These are normal human beings that have a personality and are good people. Just think about it. These people are being thought of as terrorists. They're being seen as terrorists. But they're just normal people. Some of these guys are even kids and you're thinking of them as terrorists. And it's part of a vicious cycle of thinking. Sometimes I've heard people say, well, terrorists commit war crimes. Why does everyone support them? They commit massive atrocities. They're supporting them. There is a lot in okay. Well, this is why. Think about this. After, say, some religious structure gets bombed, church, synagogue, whatever your religious structure is gets bombed. Protests happen all over the country over getting rid of Islam, getting rid of Sharia law, destroying mosques, and all the other things. And the Muslims seeing ISIS propaganda and seeing it actually happen in real life think they're right. Look at this, my religion is getting called barbaric, hate crimes are going up against me, why should I stay here? Propaganda from ISIS also probably plays a big factor in, but they're seeing their religion get trashed, seeing their people get abused, and you wonder why they joined the terrorists at that point. And the crazy part is you are making this possible through people's reactions towards these attacks. It is wrong, but what if you were to say someone close to you, like your mom, dad, brother, sibling, cousin, got affected by it? How would you feel? very mad, very frustrated, and mad at the people responsible. In your anger, however, you may blindly assume that all Islamic people are bad, not just the terrorists. Also, I'm not saying that you should just let them bomb every single religious structure out there, but don't blame people that had no part in it, or that probably weren't even old enough to be there when it happened. Don't blame them. Next time you see a Muslim get caught something bad, help him. Maybe be friends with them if you want. Stand up for him, and together you all can help someone and just make the world a better place. In general, don't blame anything on religion. That's not their fault. You might be like, yeah, but that doesn't affect anything today, right? Well, because of this invasion, permanent instability basically exists in Iraq, which has still killed people today, has plagued the country with a massive problem that it's been unable to solve for around 2 decades now, and even more. While the government is better than what it was prior to it, it still has many human rights violations. And what's quite ironic is that same government set up by the United States of America, the bringer of freedom, is a dictatorship? America, stop being a hypocrite. Another long-term effect of this was 700,000 dead, millions now dead. And what do we have to show for it? Literally nothing. That other than the death of Saddam Hussein. Democracy? No. Freedom? No. Control for Iraq? No. So we basically did everything for nothing. Of course, this has to be the US. Who else would do this? But because of this, Iraq is in chaos. This invasion has caused chaos in Iraq. Now the US population distrusts the government from making any decision, which forced it to be way more reserved and not rushing and be like democracy, freedom, and now we're just gonna make some random new government that we don't even know what to do with it. But you're probably like, but what ideal in America? Nothing, right? No, equality and pursuit of happiness. This America, the land of the free and the brave, where people come from hundreds of thousands of miles away for a better life, just to get attacked for something that's not even their fault. They come here for jobs and money, to get a better life than what they were in their home country that's in a civil war. But they get rejected for their religion, because of what other people have it. So just don't. Try to be friends with them if they want. Just be a normal person to them. Thank you for listening to my documentary. Have a good day.